So I want to explain one of the methods I use to have a quilted maple binding that is just plain wood without dye on it. So in this case what I did was I used solar res grain filler to grain fill the whole back, which is mahogany. And then what I did was I made sure to get all the sides with grain filler, and I didn't care to get even some of the grain filler on the top of the guitar. This way to make sure that the grain filler, which acts a little bit like a clear coat, could seal up all the wood, even the side of the wood where the binding is. And then I could easily sand off the face of the guitar from any of the solar res that comes on. And if you see, I'm focusing on the corners where the solar res got to feel to make sure there's no solar res left. This way it could take all the stain. So now I have a sealed up guitar on the sides and the back, and I have a stainable surface. Then when I stain the guitar, even if I get some of the stain onto the side where the full binding is, since there's like clear coat there, I could easily sand it off without it penetrating the actual wood. Here I'm now going double speed. I'm just applying some light tan fibings, and it's going to make a beautiful yellow color, and it's going to darken even once the clear coat comes on it. Since this is a darker maple, which I'm not sure if you're able to see in the video, you try to stay away from blues and greens from a darker maple and go with reds or yellows. So on this one, this is actually a spalted quilt maple, which is a very, very cool guitar. This one I'm going to go with this light tan, which is like a yellow. Eventually I'm going to do a brown burst around it and go over the back with brown as well. Which is another reason why in this scenario I don't mind so much, even if I get a little bit dye on the sides of it. That's okay, because the burst is going to go over it, but it's going to be a light burst, so that's why I want to keep it as clean as possible, and having that clear coat around will make it easy to sand off any dye that gets on the sides. I am careful to try not to get some dye on the sides, but it's going to happen. The method I used here could really be used with any clear coat that you have. You know, you could use a crystalline bright tone. You could use, sometimes what I even do is I do the color of the back first. So let's say I'll take a brown, I'll spray on the brown all over the back of the guitar, and then burst the front. Just not that it should be on the front, but just to make sure that it gets all the maple binding. And then I'll sand it off the whole front to allow it to get the stain. So I'll have the brown all over the back and the color on the front. I'll post a video link of another guitar that I did that to. But this one came out pretty cool. And stay tuned as I'm going to stain the neck. I'll show you how it looks when the clear coat is on.